Hi, I'm Chef Steve. Welcome to the Care Kitchen, where we cook with kindness. This program is brought to you by Comfort Care and At Your Side. Comfort Care and At Your Side provides personal care for people throughout the United States and Canada. We're here with our program, the Care Kitchen, every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, bringing you great recipes from the Care Kitchen cookbook, as well as just being creative and having some fun with food and figuring out great ways that we can engage with the people that we're caring for through cooking, which is such an engaging activity, a lot of fun, and also so reminiscent of times in the past and favorite foods. Today's recipe is from the Care Kitchen cookbook. This is a simple, budget-friendly recipe and very easy to do. It's one sheet pan that's used. It's a sheet pan meal. It can be used to make up a few portions or as little as one portion with this idea. So this concept of getting everything together and cooking all at once on the sheet pan, that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to get started, and the meal we're going to prepare is chicken, potatoes, and green beans all cooked on the sheet pan together with some great seasonings. Very simple process. I'm going to get started with it right now. So I've got some boneless and skinless chicken thighs here today. I'm going to use. You could use thighs, breast. I find that the thighs, from the standpoint of budget, are a little less expensive, and I love the flavor of it. It's a little bit richer flavor in the thigh than the breast, but certainly if you like the chicken breast, that's good too. So I'm going to get started with this. So what I'm going to do is I've got a sheet pan here, and I've got a piece of parchment paper lining it here. Now I do this for a couple reasons. One is to make the cleanup a lot easier, because we've got to clean up. I want to try to preserve my pan as long as possible. So if I can put something to protect the pan on there, and then also it's going to keep all the juices together and just make it a breeze when we go to take it off of the pan. It's not going to stick. Okay, so I'm going to get my chicken going on there first and get that out of the way. So what I'm going to do is, because we're cutting up raw chicken, I'm going to use a cutting board on top here. So this cutting board will just be used for this purpose here, just to maintain our good sanitation on this. Because, of course, working with any kind of raw meat, especially chicken, we want to make sure that we don't cross-contaminate any of the other foods that we're preparing with the raw chicken. Okay, so I'm just going to trim this off a little bit. There's a couple little pieces of excess fat there that I don't want. And we're going to just simply cut this into some nice large kind of strips. Okay, and just trim off some of the excess fat that we don't want in there. And as we go here, I'm going to just transfer right on to my sheet pan. So we're going to do this kind of in layers. Each area is going to have its food. Okay, so we'll take a little more chicken, get this going here. I like to not make too much of a mess when I do this, and because, working with raw chicken, we have to be concerned about the cross-contamination of working with any raw food and then cooked food, which also means, of course, when I finish with this, I'm going to also have to wash my hands well. According to the CDC, 20 seconds with soap and water will kill all of the bacteria that could potentially make us ill. Okay, so we've got a little more chicken here. Yeah, we'll get that on the pan. Okay, and one more time on the chicken. One of the, of course, big challenges as we age is getting enough protein, and I talk about this all the time, making sure that there's enough protein in the diet. And of course, you have to have a decent appetite in order to be able to eat enough to get the nutrition that you need. And this sometimes is a challenge for people as they age also, really being hungry for the food. So this is one of the reasons why we really have to concentrate so much on making sure that the food that we're preparing is really something that that person really likes and wants to eat. And how can we modify it and adapt it to make sure that that actually happens? Okay, so we've got our chicken on there. Let me get rid of this cutting board that we used to cut up the chicken. And of course, we're going to have to clean that, wash that knife that we used as well. And I have to wash my hands as well. I'm going to wash my hands right now, and I'll be right back and we'll continue here. Okay, so I'm back. I've washed my hands. I got the chicken cut up so far. One thing that I forgot to do is put the seasoning on the chicken. So what I'm going to do is now take this chicken that I just carefully cut up. Now, here's another beauty of the parchment paper. I can just pick that up, not even touch it, and throw it in. I'll put my parchment paper back on because we are going to use that to cook our chicken. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've got a ranch dressing seasoning. Now this is what you would use to make a ranch dressing. And it's a seasoning packet. This, of course, is the Hidden Valley, which is very well known. And we're going to open this packet up. And we're going to put about a tablespoon approximately of this seasoning on our chicken. Okay. And we're going to save this because we're going to use this on the next element that we're going to add to our recipe. Okay, so I'm going to take this now. I'm going to put this in here and add a little olive oil. So we've got our olive oil, we've got our ranch seasoning dressing mix, and we're just going to mix that up. Now keep in mind when we use that seasoning, it's got really almost everything in it. It's got a great flavor to it. But I am going to add in here also along with that, because I like to put in a little extra garlic and a little extra onion powder, some black pepper, and just a touch of salt, because I know that the seasoning packet has salt in it, but we just want to make sure that we have enough flavor in there. Okay, so that's mixed up with the seasoning. We're going to add that right back on to our sheet pan that's lined with parchment paper. We got that ready to go. Okay, so that part is ready to go. And the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to get our potatoes ready. So I've got some small potatoes. Now, it really doesn't matter what type of potatoes you use. The recipe calls for russet potatoes. These are small, creamy yellow potatoes that I had. You can use whatever potato you happen to like. I like these potatoes. They're very good. They're creamy and buttery tasting just by themselves. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut these potatoes up. These are all washed and ready to go. So I'm going to quarter these up. And I'm going to add them to this bowl, which I'm going to put some seasoning mix and olive oil, just like we did with the chicken. Okay, let's get these going here. And this is really a lot of fun. And this is the kind of thing, too, that, you can be doing these things and carrying on a conversation with the person that you're caring for, even if they're just watching you to prepare this meal. Because it's, it's a fun thing to do. get people involved in the activity. And let's face it, I mean, we're going to have at the end of the day here, we're also going to have a wonderful meal, and it's quick and easy to put together. We're almost there. Just want to make sure. I do like a lot of potatoes myself. I love potatoes, and these are so delicious. When they're roasted like this with some seasoning, it doesn't get any better than that. And to me, I mean, this is, everybody loves French fries, and of course, French fries are great. These, to me, are a little healthier, not deep fried, using olive oil, which I'm going to put on here right now, and some seasonings, and they're very delicious. Okay, so we've got our olive oil on. Now we're going to put some ranch seasoning mix on here, right on the potatoes. And that'll use up that packet, which is just about right for us, okay? I've got another spoon here to mix it. Everything, of course, when you're working with any raw ingredient, make sure that all your utensils, you only use them one time with that, and make sure they're washed. Okay, so we've got the potatoes mixed up with the ranch seasoning, and I'm just going to put a little bit of extra salt in because potatoes need salt. Okay, and of course, any of these things can be modified when I'm adding seasonings. If someone has to watch their salt intake, we'll cut down on the salt. Okay, so now I'm going to take my potatoes and I am going to put them right on the pan along with the chicken. Now this, of course, is all going to go in the oven, and it's going to be in the oven approximately a half an hour, around 30 minutes. And, when you take it out, you can see, make sure, of course, that your chicken is cooked through. And you always want to make sure that the chicken is at least 165 degrees in the internal temperature, and that your potatoes are tender. Okay, so we've got one more thing to add here. We've got some nice fresh green beans that are all trimmed and washed. I'm going to put some of those right on the pan. These are going to roast right along with it. I'm going to add some olive oil right to the top. And we're just going to season these up with some salt and pepper. We got a lot of flavors going on in this with our seasoning mix. So we'll just keep our green beans. Of course, they're going to get the benefit because that's the beauty of cooking like this. Everything, all the flavors are going to meld together. So we're going to get the benefit of the chicken cooking, the potatoes cooking, the green beans cooking all together. And that blended flavor is just going to be outrageous. Really, really good. Okay, so I've got this sheet pan meal ready to pop in the oven. You can see I've got my chicken seasoned. I got my potatoes seasoned. I've got my green beans seasoned. There's olive oil. It's ready to go in the oven for about 30 minutes. And then we'll take it out, see what we have, and give it a try. Okay, so we're back, and we've got our chicken, roasted potato, and green bean sheet pan meal ready to go. And here it is right here. Just took it out of the oven, all ready to plate up, and that looks wonderful. See all the juices and everything, and I used the parchment paper, so it really did contain everything, and all the juices are there, and it'll make cleanup a breeze also. So let's get it plated up, and we'll give it a taste. So we got our nice chicken strips here, and they're all seasoned and juicy. And we're going to make a nice plate. Some chicken. Some of these nice roasted potatoes. And some of these nice roasted green beans. They look great. I really love roasting vegetables because, they caramelize. The natural sugars come out when you roast it. And mixing with the seasoning and the olive oil, it's absolutely delicious. Okay, so we've got our nice meal here all ready to go. And that's the chicken, roasted potato, and green bean sheet pan meal. And let's give it a taste. Chicken is tender. It's delicious. Tender, juicy, great flavor from the seasoning that we used. Let's give a taste to the potato. Creamy, roasted flavor, really delicious. And our green beans, everything is just tastes so great. Well, I'm going to really enjoy this meal for my lunch today. And you can see how simple this is. It's really easy. No muss, no fuss, easy cleanup. I'm going to put the rest of this away, and I have that for later meals later in the week. And it'll be a 1, 2, 3 breeze cleanup and ready to go. So you can see cooking can be fun, nutritious, have all the elements to make it a great, engaging activity for whoever you're caring for, your family or yourself, just to have a great time, be creative and be healthy with all this great nutrition. Because all of these foods are highly nutritious and very well balanced. So this is a great balanced meal, and it's a lot of fun to do and a lot of fun to eat and a lot of fun to share with you, and I appreciate it. And this program is brought to you by Comfort Care and At Your Side. We're here every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, here in the Care Kitchen, where we cook with kindness, kindness being the most important ingredient. I love being here with you. I appreciate you spending time with me today. I'm going to enjoy this meal for lunch today, and I'm going to see you next time. This is Chef Steve signing off for today. See you next time. Thanks for spending time with me.